Thanks for stopping by my channel today, and I am excited today because I'm going to talk about getting advanced review copies as a smaller influencer, smaller booktuber, etc., etc. I am not even at 100 subscribers on YouTube. I've been on Bookstagram for a very long time, and I'm at about 4,000 followers on Bookstagram. So I have placed most of my time and energy in Bookstagram, and I've been working with publishers for 2 or 3 years now. And I just kind of wanted to share how that has gone for me and tips for those of you who are looking to get advanced review copies as maybe someone who doesn't have a huge following. So I have placed most of my time and energy in Bookstagram, and I've been working with publishers for 2 or 3 years now. I just kind of wanted to share how that has gone for me and tips for those of you who are looking to get advanced review copies as maybe someone who doesn't have a huge following, or maybe you do have a following and just don't know how to make that jump, because that was me. I felt very awkward about it. My Instagram is the same name, it's Essentially Booked, and I do recommend having both an Instagram and a YouTube, because a lot of times I'll push my content from YouTube over to Instagram and vice versa. And I use Bookstagram, my Instagram account, mainly to tag publishers and really create the documentation for my posts, for my partnerships, etc., etc. There's all types of ways you can get ARCS, and Instagram is pretty strict as far as FTC standards. So when you get a free book, you do need to make sure you are saying that it's a free book, that you got it, that you're a partner. I will blurb in my description a little blurb that I use. I use them on all my posts when I get free books, because you do need to disclose that. The other thing I will say is when you're disclosing that, I have people I follow, right, that I trust, that I like what they're saying. I really like the content they're putting out, so they can influence me to buy things. And so when I'm getting a free book from a publisher, I am very strict in that I control my review. I control what I'm going to say about the book. I'm not going to just unilaterally give a book 5 stars. It's going to be an honest review. So I usually say thank you to the publisher so-and-so for giving me this book in exchange for an honest review. And I've given bad reviews to books I've gotten for free. And I think that that's something that is important. And you have the integrity as an influencer, as a book reviewer. You owe that to the world around you to be honest and to share actual things. Don't be fake. Don't give everything 5 stars. Yes, it's super nice that the publisher sent you those books, but you are not obligated to give everything 5 stars and to give a glowing review. I will say, if you are going to give a bad review, do not tag the author. It's just tacky. Don't do it. If I don't like a book, I will tag the publisher for thank you for sending it to me, and I'll do my review so-and-so. I do not tag the author, because nobody deserves that. The author put so much time and energy into putting that book into the universe. The book wasn't for me. That might not mean it's not for somebody else. Another thing that I will do is, if I don't like a book, I will do the Goodreads review and I will tag the publisher in that, and I might not post it on my Instagram. The thing with publishers is they just want you to give the book publicity. So no matter where you are reviewing, I just do my best to try to review that book somewhere. The publisher sent me a free book, the least I can do is review it, right? And you'll get to a point when you are reviewing that you might get behind, and that's okay. A lot of publishers will just send books unsolicited at this point, and I will review them when I get time for them. A lot of times I might throw them in my stories just to give some feedback at the time, thanks for sending me this book. But overall, there's some publishers that do give you a deadline and some don't, so you kind of have to be on top of that. I keep a calendar of all my review posts. If I miss one, I try to post it as soon as I can. But a lot of times you will get books unsolicited. So for example, this month I'm on a few different influencer lists, so I just get books sent to me. So I received Bookworm by Robin Yeatman, and this is from Harper Perennial. This one is out on February of 2023. I work with Avon. I love historical romance, so this is one of my favorite partnerships that I'm in. But I have Lenora Bell's Duke Most Wanted, Sophie Jordan's The Scoundrel Falls Hard, and Eva Lee, How the Wallflower Was Won. So those are 3 books that were unsolicited. My thing with historical romances is I will definitely read these. They're my jam. I'm thrilled that I get these unsolicited because they're books I'll actually read. When you become a book influencer, like, I guess. When you get books from publishers, I would say be careful what you wish for, because I've been at a point where I've gotten so many books from publishers that it was overwhelming and unrealistic. I'm a mood reader, so it's very hard for me to stick to a schedule with books. So I've really tried to step back in what I request. I work with William Morrow, Avon, Grand Central Publishing, Minotaur, sometimes Hatchet, Harlequin Trade Publishing, but I have definitely stepped back in the books that I request. Some publishers will send you like a quarterly list of books coming out, and you can pick what books you want. Some will just put you on their influencer list, and you kind of select like your genres, what you like, and they will then send you books accordingly. Some publishers will reach out to you, hey, are you interested in this? That's a really good way to like pick and choose. But I will say, just be careful what you wish for. Don't put your name on a million lists, because you will get a gajillion books and you don't have time to read all of them. Realistically, that's not a good thing. Also, you want to be authentic and give good advice and good recommendations. So if you're getting a million books and you're just saying, hey, thanks to the publisher for sending me this, but never reading it, there's other bookstagrammers, booktubers, book talkers that do want to read that book and would be better served for that and would maybe give it an actual review versus you just posting about it. So that's something to be mindful of. The other thing that I'm starting to do, and you'll see a lot of influencer programs are starting to request, like, are you BIPOC? Are you LGBTQA+? Are you a diverse reader? And I personally try to not request those books, because there are people who actually have those lived experiences that deserve to read those books before me. I've gotten a few books like unsolicited, and it bothers me because they would be better served in a different reviewer's hands, not your typical blonde white girl. It makes me sad that publishers spend money. They should ship them out to people who would be better served by them. Like, I would rather their voices review the book than mine. And so when I'm given the opportunity, I do try to request that I don't get sent those, or I say, like, a lot of them will say, hey, are you one of these reviewers? And you check no, and then you're given low priority for those books, because publishers only have so much marketing dollars, and like, I want to make sure books end up in the right people's hands and are promoting books accordingly. So that's something to just keep in mind, and like, think of like ethics and like the dollars spent and stuff, and that's just something that's very important to me. I started getting ARCS a few ways. So the easiest way is to just make a NetGalley account. And I'm not a huge e-reader, so I am not the greatest NetGalley reviewer, but NetGalley is just an ebook platform, and you can request books. They have a read now section, which are books. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, if you've been approved by people whatsoever. If you've been approved by different publishers, it doesn't matter. The read now section, you can read those no matter what your status is. And Goodreads is looking for you to have an 80% feedback ratio. I have like a 30%. So I would need to build that up if I really wanted to use NetGalley, but a lot of people I know use NetGalley and love it. With NetGalley, they will send it to your Kindle directly, and you usually have like time to read it. Usually NetGalley is pretty generous in the time you have to read it. And then you just have to review on NetGalley. When you go to type in your review on NetGalley, you're able to push your reviews to other platforms if your accounts are linked. So that's really nice. With NetGalley, they have a profile, and I recommend you really taking the time to set up your profile, making sure it's accurate. There's ways for people to contact you, types of books you like to read, where you review at, because publishers do check. And that's just a great place to get started if you don't have a lot of followers. Like I said, I don't do a lot of NetGalley, and you can be be careful what you wish for, because if you're requesting a ton of books, that affects your feedback ratio. You want 80%. So don't request 100 books, because then your ratio will get out of whack if you're not reviewing them. And so I recommend just kind of not requesting a ton, reading them, reviewing them, and just always being mindful of your feedback ratio, because you can be like me and I have a 30% ratio, and it's going to take me a long time to get to 80%. A lot of publishers now, with like inflation and stuff, are kind of requesting like if you want an ebook copy instead of a hard copy. And so that's kind of a nice option that some publishers are offering as of late. And you just give them your NetGalley email, and they send it to you through NetGalley. So that's kind of a nice thing right now. And I appreciate that booksellers and publishers are trying to be mindful of the costs. The other thing that I did is I would enter like Goodreads giveaways, And I would use Goodreads to read those books when you win them, tag the publisher. When you're writing reviews on Goodreads, you can just write reviews of books on Goodreads consistently because those are public if your profile is public. And sometimes publishers see you through that. It's becoming more congested in Goodreads, so that might not be something that always works. But regardless, like when you review books, publishers want you to post stuff on Goodreads, and so just always consistently post to Goodreads if you can with reviews, because that is a really big platform for book reviewing. And I constantly have to go back and add reviews to Goodreads. It's not my strength, but just know that that's an important aspect of reviewing books. And you can also tag publishers. That is one way to get noticed. When I got started on Instagram, I would tag publishers all the time. And slowly but surely I would get emails. This doesn't just happen overnight. Consistency and putting up good quality content. I would tag publishers, and sometimes they would reach out to me, hey, are you interested in reviewing this book? It's just one way to connect with publishers. The thing I'm noticing of late on Instagram is they want reels. So same with TikTok. Like, video content is king right now. And if you are a good reel creator, create reels about reading, publishers will flock to you. My best posts have resulted in me getting like a publisher to reach out to me because the stationary photo is not as huge and Instagram isn't putting the effort into that as much as reels, which it is what it is. I'm not a huge video person, so that's why I actually started a booktube, is I like this platform better than I like making reels. But it is something that publishers are really pushing for. So just be aware of that. Like, if you are looking to grow in this space, video content is king, especially reels and TikTok. It's not my favorite thing, but that's where we are right now. And I guess I need to get better at making reels. Boo. If you have a book that you know you want to read, you can always just ask for it. If you know it's coming out in advance, most publishers, you go to their website or even their Instagram sometimes, and they have a publicity contact. And be aware that like publishers have a million imprints. So if you find your book, get the pub date, and you can shoot an email to that imprint's publicity contact. So just send an email to a publisher and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm really interested in this book by so-and-so. I would love to be able to promote it on my channel, give it a review. If that's something you're interested in, please let me know. And then I always sign my name and I give all my contact information because I want to make it as easy as possible for that publisher to just drop ship that book. And you know what? They might say no. That's okay. Also, be mindful of the books you're requesting. Like, the newest Sarah J. Maas is not going to get sent to you. Like, that author has enough publicity. They don't need to put their marketing dollars on small influencers. So think about that. If it's a new and upcoming author, like a small author, those are where your best bets are. But don't think you're going to get like the newest Stephen King or Sarah J. Maas, newest Outlander book. Like, that's just not going to happen because there is such a market for them without the help of influencers. If you have 1,000 followers or are an educator, you can, if you have 1,000 followers, are an educator or a librarian, you can actually be a part of the Libro FM influencer program. I love Libro FM. If you do not use Libro FM, I so recommend it. And I am a partner with them, so I have my referral code down below. That's a really great way to get free audiobooks. And you need 1,000 followers if you're just a regular Joe Schmo. If you are an educator or a librarian, I don't know exactly what those requirements are, but they do have a program for that. And every month they have 5 to 7 free audiobooks that you can check, you can borrow or own. They give them to you for free. And you get to review them. I've listened to so many popular books for free because of Libros. Book Lovers by Emily Henry was one of them. Carrie Soto is Back was one of them. The newest Celeste Ng. They have great books, and there's also always gems that I've never heard of. So I could not speak highly enough of Libro FM. The cool thing too is you have to have a membership with Libro FM. Like, it's not a free thing. Yes, you you're getting free books, but you are still paying for a membership. And your payment, you get 1 credit a month. It goes to support a bookstore of your choice. So a portion of the proceeds from your credit go to a bookstore of your choice. So that's cool because you're actually supporting an indie bookstore on top of Libro FM. And it's not going to like a big conglomerate company that I will not say the name of. Like, it's going to Libro FM and the small indie bookstore of your choice. And you can also switch it up. So like, if I am buying a book from the indie press list from Currently Reading Podcast, I will switch my credit that month to that bookstore. But usually I have a hometown bookstore that I prefer to support. And it's just, they get some money. Bookstores always need our help. And I love that Libro FM does that. And then I keep mentioning influencer programs and stuff. So a lot of publishers have influencer programs on their website, or I recommend following them on Instagram, and they might post about them periodically, and then the link is only open for so long. I would make a list of book publishers you want to work with and imprints, and then go to their website on their publicity page usually, and if they have an influencer program, you will see that. There's certain publishers that are revamping theirs, like William Morrow is right now. I haven't seen any emails from Avon Books of late, so I'm guessing because they're also affiliated with Harper and William Morrow, that's what's happening. But I have a few publishers, they'll send you like a Google form every month of books you might want to request. And I find those from looking at their publicity website. So I will periodically reevaluate what publishers I'm working with, and then I will reach out to those publishers through their websites to see if they have influencer programs, or if they have them on their website, it's linked there, and then you just sign up, fill out your information, and if they select you, you would know. That's a really easy way, but they ask for like your number of followers. I would not get like bogged down in the number of followers you have. Sure, if you have a lot of followers, they're definitely going to want to work with you, but you know, a lot of publishers will work with smaller influencers as long as you have like a consistent review strategy, you're posting a lot, you're showing up in video, you're doing something to get the word out. Like, I would not say your number is definitive. They want people who are excited about reading and who are going to promote the content. So just make sure that if you want to do one of these things, you are consistently showing up and have material out there that will get you books. Again, I'm going to reiterate, be careful what you wish for, because if you're getting 1 million books, that's super exciting, but you need to review those books. I have, like I said, I've periodically reevaluated that stuff because I had too many books and I wasn't getting to them. And so I dropped back from some publishers and I started rejecting more requests and all of that. So just be mindful of that. It is really cool to get a free book from a publisher, but like, you can only read so much and there's so little time. So I am curious if you also get ARCS, like what has worked for you. Please drop that in the comments. If you have questions, please let me know. You can always email me, message me. I'm super active on my Instagram, Essentially Booked. You can also drop stuff in the comments and I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to communicate back and forth with you. I love interacting in the comments. But I hope this was helpful. Like, I'm not a huge influencer like on BookTube. I don't have very many followers. I have an okay following on Bookstagram, but it's still not huge. But I do work with publishers. So I just wanted to come out here and give some helpful stuff, some helpful information on how to get free books. Just explain what it's like to get review copies and kind of the expectations you have to go into. In my description, I will link some things that I have found. I will do an example like FTC disclosure for you. Also, you can connect with me down below. There's all my social media, my Libro FM influencer code. And thank you to both Libro FM and Avon Books for the free books this month. It's been a great experience, and I really hope to see more of you interacting and influencing, as cheesy as that sounds. But thank you again so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a lovely day.